Hey guys, it's Mr. Browse. Today your video is going to be over Objective 6.3D. So this is a review from 6th grade stuff. So it's going to be add and subtract positive rational numbers. And your essential question is, how do I add and subtract decimals? We're strictly working with decimals today. Go ahead and write that down. Pause the video to do so if you need to, and I'm going to move on. So we had Jerry had 7.2 pounds of cherry and lime jelly beans. If 1.75 pounds were cherry flavor, how many pounds were lime flavor? So for our UPS check is understand, right? So it means I need to find what? So I need to find how many pounds of lime jelly beans there are. So how we are actually going to do that is to subtract. So we're going to subtract. Okay, so now we'll go on to solving. So to solve this question, we are actually going to subtract 7.2 and 1.75. Now remember, you have to line up the decimals when you're sad, right? Subtract, add, divide. Line up decimals when you're subtracting, adding, or dividing. So in this case, we are lining up the decimals because, like I just said, in our plan we see subtract. So we got to subtract, so we're lining the decimals up. So we're going to put 7.2 in 1.75. So see here, I don't have a number here. So if there's no number, you put a 0, okay? 0 is always going to be our placeholder. So we are going to have to borrow in this question. So 7.2 minus 1.75, so I'm going to borrow from the 7 because I can't borrow from the 2. So that's going to be 6. This will turn into 11, and this will now be 10. So 10 minus 5, we know that's 5. 11 minus 7 is 4. Bring down the decimal. And 6 minus 1 is what? Yep, that's 5. So our answer is actually 5.45 pounds. We're going to label it, okay? So 5.45 pounds of lime jelly beans. So now we go on to the C of UPS check. How are we going to check our work? We don't just say, here's my answer, the answer is multiple choice, and that's on there, that's the right answer, that's how I check my work. That's not how we do this at all. So a lot of times with decimals and with operations like this, you can simply just add two other numbers up. So we have 5.45 pounds of lime jelly beans. Well, if we have 5.45 pounds of lime jelly beans, and we have 1.75 pounds of cherry jelly beans, what does that make our answer? So let's add those up and see. So that's going to be 10. That's going to be 2. And that's going to be 7. So 7.2 pounds. So there you go. That's our total in jelly beans. So we're right on that. So that's good. So now let's move on to the next one. Paige was measuring how much taller she got over the past 2 years. In the first year, she grew 4.62 centimeters. In the second year, she grew 7.7 centimeters. How much taller did she grow over the past 2 years combined? So we're trying to figure out, we're not trying to figure out Paige's total height right now. They didn't give us that information at all. We're just trying to figure out how much she grew over the past 2 years, okay? So our U is understand. I need to find what? I need to find how much Paige grew over the last 2 years. Okay, so our plan for this one. Again, our plan is, what operation are we using? So for those of us who don't know, there are some key words that can help us out with this. So your teachers will do some notes over those as well, and they may have it up in their room. Here's just a kind of a little list of subtraction words, right? So we'll take a quick look at that, and then we'll see if any of those words are actually in this question. If they are, then that odds are good. That's going to mean we have to figure out what it is, if it's adding or subtracting, okay? Because we're only doing both of those in this video. So we're going to look back at the video real quick at the question, and we're going to see if there's any addition words in there. So we're going to go through, and I see combined. So combined is right here under my little cheat sheet here. So combined is going to be a key word. So I know I'm going to have to add. Okay, so now let's go on to solving it. So we have 4.62 and 7.7. And do we line up the decimals? Yes, just like we talked about the last time. You line up the decimals when you're sad, okay? Subtract, add, divide. So 0 is a placeholder. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 7, 13. We're going to bring the decimals down again, okay? And then we got to add that 1 from the 13. And then so 7 plus 4 would actually be 11, and add 1 more, and that's 12. So 12.32. And we got to label it centimeters. So now how can we check our work there? Well, just like the last one on when we had to subtract it first and we checked our work by adding, we're going to do the opposite. So let's subtract 12.32 and 4.62. And guys, you could also do 7.70. It's totally up to you. I'm just choosing the first number. So 2 minus 2 is obviously 0. So we're going to borrow from the 12, okay? So that's going to make this 11, and that's going to make this 13. So now 13 minus 6 is 7. Bring down that decimal because we're subtracting. And then 11 minus 4 is also 7. So 7.7 centimeters. And there it is right there. So that's how we know we can check our work. You always need to check your work. It's not just a yes or no. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to do your summary and 2 questions when you get to class. Hope you guys like the video.